Hi everybody, it's Cynthia from Purgatory Paranormal. Thanks so much for watching today. I really appreciate it. I'm really glad to be here. As you know, my studio flooded out in August, but the new one is coming along, and I'm happy to be getting back to making paranormal videos and live streaming weekly. So before we get started, I would appreciate it if you could subscribe and hit the bell so you know when I upload and when I live stream. Something just knocked on my wall outside. Okay, that was really weird. Anyway, I don't know if you heard that. That was really weird. Anyway, if you would subscribe and hit that bell, and also like this video if you do like it. I hope you do. I have something cool to share with you, and let's get started right now. So, okay, I am here to... What is that? Okay, now it's over there. Stop that. Okay, so yeah, here we go. So I am here to share something cool with you that I got. I got a new piece of equipment, and it is called a Raudive Diode, and I'm going to use it to do an EVP session. I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory on where it comes from, how it works, or how we think it works, and then we're going to give it a shot. And then I'm going to also play for you. Last night, I did an EVP session with the digital recorder alone, no diode, because I was standing in this room and someone said mom to me. And I stood there for a bit and I said, who called me mom? And then I thought, let me get the recorder and I'll play that for you too as well, because I got a couple of EVPs that came through on that. And we can compare it to what the diode does. So anyway, getting into it, let me show you what the diode looks like. Now, I'm going to switch to another. Okay, so here we go. This is what is housing the diode. Okay, the outside doesn't matter. They come in all different shapes and sizes. It is a very simple mechanism, and I will try to explain to you what that is shortly. I'm going to use it in conjunction with the digital recorder and an external speaker, and I will also explain to you why I'm using that. A little bit of backstory first, though. Konstantin Raudive was from Latvia, and he was born in 1909, and he became an intellectual and a writer, but he studied psychology and parapsychology all his adult life. He was very interested in the afterlife and how we could possibly contact people, spirits, people that had passed on. So he developed three main approaches for gathering EVPs. The first was what he called microphone voices. He believed you could leave a recorder running with no one speaking, nobody asking any questions, and even disconnecting the microphone, which is where the diode comes in. I'll explain it in a minute. And then you could listen back later for the voices of the spirits. His second main approach was what he called radio voices. You could record the white noise from a radio not tuned to any particular station. Does that sound familiar? That's what we do, right? We use our hacked radios that scan. We get a lot of white noise, and that's part of why we have them scanning the stations and not stopping. We get the white noise as well as the voices, and hope that the spirits can use that to communicate. And then the last is diode voices. The diode basically is recording from a crystal set, which is a very, very basic radio and the precursor of radios we're familiar with, but non-tuned to any particular station or frequency. So the diode that I have, the Raudive diode, is meant to attach to the digital recorder and not allow it to record any ambient sound. Basically, it won't record me or the dog barking or the car outside. It blocks that noise, and all you get is white noise from a crystal that is not set to any particular frequency or station. So basically, I'm going to hook it up to the digital recorder, and I'm going to ask questions, but the only place you're going to hear questions asked are when you watch this video back. If we play back just what's going to be on the recorder, you won't hear me. You won't hear my dog clickety-clacketing around the wood floor like he loves to do. If there are any responses, that's what we'll hear. And you will notice when we compare it to the EVP session I did last night with my digital recorder alone, the difference. A huge difference, because the noise from the recorder alone, it can't help but pick up some of the mechanical noise from the recorder. And it picks up everything. Ambient sound, sound of wind, the sound of air moving. So this is going to be a very different experience, and I don't know if we'll get anything, but we're going to give it a try. I'm going to hook it up, and we're going to do a session. So the diode is basically a very simple, what's called a crystal set, from what I can understand. And the crystal sets were the precursors to the radios that we know now, the ancient ancestors, actually. A very simple thing that you could actually build at home. And a lot of people did. Even in the foxholes in World War II, they built something they called a foxhole radio. I'll show you a picture of one. A foxhole radio, they needed to have these kinds of radios in order to listen to music or news, because the regular radios that were being built at the time had something called an oscillator in them that the enemy could pick up. But the foxhole radio was basically made with pencil lead, a pin, and a razor blade. You see the razor blade there, and some wire around a cardboard tube. Very simple. They were hard to hear, but hey, it was what they had, and they made do with it. So the diode comes from the beginning of radio, okay? But it's simplified, and Raudive, what he did with it was developed it so that it would block out any ambient sound. It's a one-way street. If there's anything that comes through on it that's audible, that's understandable, that's voices, that's words that we can figure out, his opinion was that it would be spirit voices. So I'm going to give that a try now. Let's see how it goes, and then we'll listen back. And then after that, I will play you my recording from last night, after somebody in this room came up to me and said, "Mom," in my ear. I could hear it. And I turned and I said, "Who called me mom?" And then I thought, let me get the digital recorder. So I got the digital recorder, put it down. It was very quiet in the house. And I asked who it was. I got a few responses that I think you'll enjoy. So let's do this, and then I'll play that for you. All right, I've got everything set up here now. I've got the diode, and it is plugged into the mic jack of the digital recorder. I'm also using an external speaker because otherwise we wouldn't be able to hear until we listened back later. The theory is that while we're doing this, we might be able to hear anything that comes through real time. Now I've read that I need to move the diode away from the recorder, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to move it as far as it'll go across the desk, and that's going to make the recorder go a little crooked because it's pulling the wire, but do the best we can. All right. I'm going to hit record now, and let's see if we get anything. Hello, spirits. It's Cynthia. I have a new device I'm trying right now. Can you please try to say something and come through these devices so that I can hear you? Odd. Okay, I'm going to try it again, but without the speaker attached. So I've got the diode plugged in, but I'm going to move it again, as per instructions, as far away as possible from the recorder. So let's just, it won't sit straight because the thing is moved over here. Here we go. No, it won't sit straight. Okay, so let's try this one more time. Okay, we are recording. All right, spirits, can we try one more time? And I would really appreciate if you could try to say something as loud as possible so that I might hear it when I listen back. I have a device here that will leave out my voice and any other ambient sound and just hear you. So if you could try, I would really appreciate it. I know this is probably very new to you, or maybe not. Maybe it's just new to me. But if you could just say something, yell it out as loud as possible. What would you like to tell me? All right, I'm going to listen back. And thank you if you tried. Okay, so I'm going to disconnect the diode. Now I'm going to, why don't we just listen to it without the speaker first? Let's just listen to it without the speaker. You get that crazy noise? That's from the diode. Oh, I heard something there. All right, hang on. I am going to connect the speaker because I heard something there. All right, let's try it now. Did you hear it? Oh my goodness. What on earth? Why did it do that? Oh, I heard something there too. Oh, I heard something there too.
Who just called me Mom? It's okay, you can talk to me. I'm in the back room where the Shadow Man's been seen. Was that you? It didn't sound like the same voice. I have a recording device here if you could speak near it as loud as possible and let me know who you are. I would appreciate it. I'm just neatening up in here a little bit. What do you think of the new setup? Would you please speak to me? What do you think of all this? Do you think I should keep doing this? I'm going to try again tomorrow. So please, come and speak with me. Good night.